Amelia, a historian specializing in ancient settlements, receives a mysterious letter detailing an uncharted place called Ashen Hollow. Curious but skeptical, she decides to investigate. Amelia's silhouette is barely visible through the thick fog as she exits her car. The dense trees loom over her, casting eerie shadows on the ground. She steps out of the car and feels the temperature drop drastically. The air feels unnaturally still, and the dense fog clings to her skin. She follows a narrow, overgrown path leading deeper into the woods. Strange symbols etched into the trees catch her attention, but their meaning eludes her. After what feels like hours, she stumbles upon an ancient village, its buildings crumbling and overgrown, as if time had forgotten this place entirely. Entering one of the dilapidated houses, she finds strange artifacts and relics scattered around, but the rooms feel unnaturally cold and dark, as though something is watching her. A strange, rhythmic tapping sound echoes from the back of the house, growing louder with each step she takes. She enters a room filled with old books, and as she touches one, the tapping suddenly stops, replaced by a low, whispering voice. The whispering grows louder, surrounding her as if voices from all directions are calling her name. Panic rises in her chest as the door behind her slams shut, trapping her in the room. Desperate, she pushes against the door, but it won't budge. The whispers turn to screams, piercing the silence. Suddenly, the voices stop, and an eerie silence fills the room once again. The temperature drops even further, and her breath becomes visible in the cold air. She turns to face the room, and in the far corner she notices a faint figure standing, its features impossible to make out in the dim light. Before she can react, the figure vanishes, leaving only a cold breeze in its wake. She rushes out of the room, her heart pounding. She runs through the village, but every path she takes seems to lead her back to the same house. Exhausted and terrified, she stumbles upon an old well in the center of the village, hearing faint voices echoing from its depths. As she peers into the well, a shadowy hand reaches out from the darkness, grabbing her wrist. She struggles to free herself, but the hand pulls her closer, and the voices from the well grow deafening. Just as she is about to be pulled into the well, the hand releases her, and she collapses on the ground, gasping for breath. She gathers the last of her strength and runs towards the forest, never looking back in the village again. As she finally escapes the village, the fog begins to lift, but a lingering sense of dread follows her, as though the village still watches from afar. She reaches her car, but as she starts the engine, she notices something in the rearview mirror, an indistinct figure standing just beyond the trees. Heart racing, she speeds away, but the image of the figure in the mirror haunts her, its face still unclear in her memory. Even though she has left the village behind, the strange events linger in her mind. She knows the village is not done with her yet,